Grading company you choose can literally change the value of your card by hundreds, sometimes thousands of cards, but you gotta pick the right one. And in my opinion, the right one might not be what you're thinking. Hi, my name's Sam. I'm from Loomis Card Craze, where I buy, sell, and trade Pokemon cards and various other cards across the hemisphere, across the cardboard world, as those would say. And in this video, I'm going to talk about grading, whether you're trying to make grading plays, whether you're grading for your collection, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my preference. A couple weeks back, I made a video talking about PSA and how PSA is where you send your cards if you want returns on your investments and you see higher profit rates on PSA. All of those fun pieces, right? In this video, I'm not going to talk about that. That video is we're not going to talk about that video. However, I still stand by it. PSA is where you want to go if you're looking for a high ROI in a long-term period. With the increases in rates recently, with the significant delays, even if you were to go CGC, I'm iffy on it still, but tag, you're looking at less returns, but you're looking at returns faster than if you're sending it to PSA. For example, I talked in my other video that I sent out 10 of the Mimikyu EXs from the Scarlet and Violet, the Pokemon Center 75, or number 75, sorry, the Black Star promos. So I sent those out back in early November. I think it was like November 3rd. They're still in grading status. I received an email yesterday that my completion has been pushed out rather, to May 20th. So we're looking at a 6-month turnaround in those cards. So I was curious this morning, as couldn't sleep, was up with the baby. I was curious if I had sent those cards to CGC or even tag and they came back a 9, 10. I wasn't looking at the CGC 10 pristine because that's asking for a lot, right? Even if you get 1 or 2 of those. But if I had gotten 3 CGC 10s out of the 10 I sent, right, and 4 tag 10s, I would have made a higher profit margin than return on investment, right? Because we're looking at 4 months compared to 6 months now, 8 months, whatever that ends up being. I would have already got those cards back. I would have already sold those cards most likely, because there's 3 to 5 sales a day on eBay for both tag and CGC of those cards. So when you're looking at volume and all of those different pieces, I would have already made my money back. Now, again, I'm going to see higher returns on the PSA, even if I only get 110, I'm going to have a higher return than I would have if I had 3 or 4 10s from CGC or tag. So it depends on which way your business is focused right now. Right now, my focus is driving sales, driving revenue, driving profit, all of those fun things, right, are secondary, because I need the sales to be able to increase my profit margins, and I need the cash flow to do it. I'm not a long-standing business. I just started, like I said, 2 years ago. So as we continue to grow, I need capital to finance further investments, further growth opportunities. But with $1,500 tied up in inventory that's sitting out at PSA, and then $450 that it took to grade that inventory, that's almost $1,000. If those had come back on CGC, I would have already seen those returns and been able to put that back into my business. So as I weigh these different pieces from grading, as I look to send out more cards, that's something I'm genuinely taking into account. Is, yes, I'm going to see higher profit margins on PSA, but with the increase in price, it recently went up to $24 per card, and now the significant delay and increase in how long they have my inventory, that's a long time for a small scale seller such as myself. So I don't think I could afford sending out 3-4 more submissions. There are some folks I talk to that they send out a submission every month, so they're constantly getting a return. I don't have that kind of capital at this time. Now, ideally, that would be phenomenal, right? That would be awesome to be able to get to the point where you can send inventory to PSA every month. Man, that would be wonderful. But until I get to that point, I have to look at what is my better chance of return on investment, being able to utilize the funds that I have and spend the time and research it. And okay, yes, tag is not the greatest market, and again, I don't know if I believe in it or not believe in it long term. So when I'm doing these researches, I need to be able to determine, okay, yes, the Mimikyu for PSA 10 is going for 300 and PSA, as I said, but the CGC 10 is going for 220. So $80 in difference. I'm probably looking at same amount, if not more, for CGC. So for 10s, that is. And I'm not, again, not including pristine 10s because I don't want to take that into my calculations. That would just be gravy on top of it, right? So as we just talked, 10 to 10 comparison, yes, it is a significant dollar amount when you look at it long term. But again, they're holding up my funds for 6 to 8 months. By the time I get the inventory back, I have to list it. All of those pieces, it takes time to sell. It's not like PSA 10 sell 2, 3, 4 times a day. It's okay. The inventory I'll probably sit on for a month, 2 months, unless I'm competitively priced. So I don't think the $80 per card would be that significant of a difference, because the CGC 9s and PSA 9s, they're not that much difference in price. Yes, CGC 9 is garbage. We all know that, right? But when you look at the raw value of the card and what I have in the cards at this current time, I wouldn't be losing anything by having the CGC 9s over the PSA 9s. So as I acquire my next submission, I am seriously looking at, do I use CGC? Do I use tag? What other alternatives do I have instead of relying on PSA for 8-10 months? Now, again, I want to reiterate, if I had the time frame of larger businesses where I don't need the immediate flip, I would go PSA. I believe PSA is a stronger company. I believe you will always see higher ROI on PSA. However, I have to look outside the box, right, of what is best for my small business and where would I see the greatest return in having the profit in my store or sitting out for a while. Because again, if I go back to what I said before, where folks are sending out a submission of 20, 30 cards every month, with the increase in price, you're talking 20 cards, you're talking what, $550, $600 in just submission fees? Now, mind you, you don't get charged that until the cards are graded, right? But that could come at once. Even now, I don't have $600 sitting in an account where I can just go, oh, yep, check, here we go. I'm still in the growing process of $200 here, I put in more inventory, $300 here. Like over this last week, I've sold $600 in, or I should say, today's what, Friday, $600 since Sunday night, so Monday morning, where once that's received from TCG Player in a couple weeks and eBay in a couple days, that will immediately get put back into my business. Because again, I'm not taking anything out of the business. It is all immediately going back into inventory as I continue to grow. Now, mind you, there's different schools of thought, right? You should always have $3,000 to $5,000 in your account. So if there's a collection, I think at this time, with how small I am, as I continue to grow and scale, yes, that's feasible. But I continue to need inventory to have folks come to the store, right? And continue to shop and want to be part of the experience. Need inventory to do that. So as I continue to grow, I will look at how do I store $5,000, $6,000 at a time to buy larger collections. Now, again, not advocating don't put it on credit unless you can pay it off, all those fun pieces, right? But I have in the past, I had a $3,000 collection that I was able to get for what, 75, 72%, somewhere around there, that I put on a credit card. Now, again, I have a steady flow of cash coming in from the business where I didn't make any other purchases until that was done. It was okay, it comes in, it gets paid off, because I knew I would see a return on those sales within the next 30 days where I could just pay that off and just be done without any interest on a credit card, all of those pieces, right? So if you are going to make risky financial decisions, be careful, please. Don't put yourself in debt. Don't put yourself at risk. Be able to make the smart decisions and the smart plays. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on who you think is the better grading company. Now, for your specific situation, not overall, I think we could all agree PSA is still up there, right? Unfortunately, they have kind of a monopoly with the way they've been purchasing and all those different pieces, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So we'll all continue to use PSA, but what about your specific circumstances? Has this video helped you think? Maybe look outside the box a little bit. If this video has helped you in any way, I would love for you to drop a like, drop a subscribe. Anything helps with this channel as I continue to grow in this space and in this business. And as always, my eBay and TCG Player links are in the comments. If you find something good, let me know. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you in the next video.